But I'm going to be in 2 Chronicles chapter 34, and this is going to be the story of, let me pronounce his name right, Josiah, the king. And I ain't going to do a lot of it because y'all know most of the background, but he became king at 8 years old, and he walked after God. And then when he was 16, he started seeking after God, and then he found the book.
Yeah, hallelujah. Yeah, he found the book.
And then that changed everything for him. And then God told him, said, well, because of this, in verse 28 is where I want to get to. Behold, I will gather thee to thy father, and thou shalt not be gathered to thy grave. Thou shalt be gathered to thy grave in peace. Neither shall thine eyes see all the evil that I will bring upon this place and upon the inhabitants of the same. So they brought the king the word again. All right. So he's doing good, and God told him that. Well, something went wrong. You go over into chapter 35, and verse 23, and the archer shot at King Josiah, and the king said unto his servants, have me away, for I'm sore wounded. All right. To me, that's not going to your grave in peace. Well, if you back up into verse 22, he wouldn't listen to the king of Egypt. Nevertheless, Josiah would not turn his face from him, but disguised himself, they might fight with him. And he hearkened not unto the words of Necho from the mouth of God, and came to fight in the valley of, that place. And I always tell the guys in jail, just because you can't pronounce the name don't mean that you can't still talk about it. And I was just being honest with them. Well, here's the thing. He still didn't see the evil that was going to come on him. God kept his word. Josiah didn't do his part. He didn't listen to God. All right. This man done more than I'll probably ever do in my whole entire life. He turned the whole nation back to serving God. And in the Old Testament, if you kept the law, you're going to heaven when you die. So while he was alive, all the kingdom was keeping the law. I can't say that about my witnesses and my abilities, but he stepped out and done something that he wasn't supposed to do. 1 Peter 1:16, because it's written, be ye holy, for I am holy. We step out and stop doing that, we'll shoot ourselves in the foot. And take our own self out of the game, and the devil won't have a single thing to do with it. And here's the problem. We don't need to give him any ammunition to begin with. He's good enough at doing it for us. We don't need to provide the ammo for the bullet, and we don't need to stand there and paint ourselves a target. We're all call ourselves preachers. Some of us, that side's not. We call ourselves preachers, and I hold a Christian here on accountability. I hold a preacher there. That's the way I do it. So if you catch a preacher doing something, I think you shouldn't be doing that. Because you can blow. I've done this, and that's why I ain't going to throw anybody under the bus but myself. I've done this. I've blown my chance to witness to somebody over my own attitude and how I presented myself to them. I've seen it in their face go from listening to me, and then I said, well, I'm a preacher. A few weeks later, they was like, really, after you talked to me like that? Didn't cuss. Didn't do anything wrong. Just the way I presented myself in the manner that I done it. And everybody thinks, well, as long as I don't commit adultery as a pastor, I'm good. That's what most people think. If Rick Kulick had got divorced, not over infidelity or anything else, his wife divorced him. It wasn't his problem. But that stopped his ability of preaching in certain circles. Just like that. Jimmy Swaggart, everybody seen him fall? If it hadn't been for him being on TV and the person he was, if that had been somebody else, they would never ever heard of him ever again. What about lying, cheating, stealing, all them other things? Those are little things. I mean, I can lie to Brother Scotty all day long. And then when he catches me in it, he can forgive me. Yeah, no big deal. But I do it again and do it again. Pretty soon, every time I tell him something, he's going to have to go ask somebody else and find out if the information I told him is true. And those are little big things. And I told these guys, to the guys in jail last night, I said, look, in that orange jumpsuit, you witnessing somebody on the side of the road at work release, it ain't going to go over too good. I said, it's not. I said, but you get out of here and you witness to them, it changes.
That's right.
And that's the same thing with preachers. I got called to preach. Or when I got saved, let's go back. When I got saved, I had a list of sins that I committed on a weekly basis. And I ain't going to tell you what they are because it's none of your business. But I had them wrote down in my mind. I had them wrote down in my mind. And I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, man, I got to stop doing this. And I stopped doing it for a while, but then here something else pop up, and here it wasn't on the list, and I'd have to add it to the list. And I kept taking them off, and something would come on. And I told myself, why am I keep doing this, and beat myself up over it? And I said, well, if I stop trying, then it's over for me. Amen. So my lists kept getting smaller. The frequencies went further and further and further. And the ones that really bother me, because you can commit some sins, and it'll take you out for a while. It just will.
Amen.
And some won't. Some you can get away with until, God hit you on the back of the head. But some will take you out. And I was like, man, I don't want this. I got to. And finally, I got my legs under me. I got my Bible in me. And I got some strength in me. And I was able to put them off and stop doing them. But this is what I preached last night in the jail to them, because they think that they can, do this, and then you can't. And you especially can't do it as a pastor. As a pastor, the list of things that you can get away with got smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And I talk from experience because, like I said, I seen the expression on that guy's face, and I was like, man, I just blew it with him. I just blew it. And we don't need to give the devil any more ammo.
No.
At all. And I'm trying to take bullets out of his hands every day. And like I said, that's all I got.
Amen.